Fact number one, not all foreigners in the Philippines are rich. Fact number two, the 50 richest people in the Philippines generate a wealth between them of about $80 billion. So that's more than 1 billion each, closer to $2 billion each. As a net worth. Fact number three, we're going to discuss in this video. What does it actually mean to be rich in the Philippines? Let's get into the video. So welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Craig and I live in Albay province in the Philippines with my wife and son. I took early retirement about 7 weeks ago. I've been living here since 2020 or 2021, I can't remember how long we've had this house. Before that we were renting, so but I don't really consider myself as being living here since then because I've always been away working overseas. Anyway, in this video we're going to discuss what it actually means to be rich in the Philippines. Before we get talking about that, I hope the view behind isn't putting you off too much. It can be very distracting. Quality view here of my own volcano. It's a beautiful morning, and tomorrow, which will be, what day is tomorrow? Saturday, 23rd of November, myself and my wife and son are going to Donsol. Donsol is still in Albay province. It's close to Sorsogon, and it's where you can swim with the whale sharks. They're very common there. You can also just go out on a boat and see them, depending on the season. So we're going there for a couple of nights to a resort that we've stayed in several times. But as you can see, it's a beautiful morning here, and I wanted to discuss this because, just to give you some background, or before that, let me tell you about what's classified as being rich in the Philippines. Doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or a local. The threshold for the classification of being rich, according to the research I've done online, is approximately 220,000 pesos income or budget per month. So that's quite a lot of money. I think that's about, I don't know, $3,600 a month, US, approximately. Maybe more than that, but that's a lot of money. And of course there's a lot of locals here who are also rich. I say also, why am I saying also? I am not rich, okay? Let me start by saying that. But to me, I am rich because, I'll tell you why, I don't classify being rich as a financial thing. For me, being here, not having to work, and being with my family, that means much more than any financial benefits. I don't have to get up in the morning and go to work. I can get up, more or less do what I want, although I do have commitments. Our son goes to school Monday to Friday. Sometimes he'll go on a Saturday if there's a makeup class. So I do have commitments, but I don't have to work. And boy, am I happy about that. Our budget, just to give you an idea, our budget is about 70,000 pesos a month. And that is only, less than a third of what's classified as being rich in the Philippines. So, according to the official numbers, I'm not rich. But, I don't care about that. I've had a very, very comfortable life. I've been lucky in that I've earned good money over the years. I've worked in some fantastic places, overseas. I've been in America, Africa, Europe, Asia. So I've been lucky, and you know, I've had fancy things, nice things. I've had nice cars. I've had nice watches. None of that interests me anymore. See, when you get older, you don't care about stuff like that. You know. Another thing that happens when you get older is you know things. Um, if you're of an age similar to me or older, you'll know what I'm talking about. You just know things, and I think my wife sometimes gets a bit surprised when I tell her things that you know I shouldn't know about. It's just a fact of life. It's called experience, and the reason I'm happy that I'm not working anymore is because now in my industry, experience goes for very very little now. Companies only care about money. They only care about getting younger people in because they can pay them less. They can control them. They can tell them what to do. You know, I don't want to sound like a grumpy old man. That's a fact. Very few companies appreciate someone with experience and are prepared to pay them a salary based on that experience. So, I'm out of the rat race. I'm out of the corporate world. Yes, I'm not living on a lot of money compared to what I was, but I'm rich in life, as in quality of life, location, culture. You know, it's snowing in the UK today. Think about that. People are getting up. They're having to scrape the car, scrape the ice off the windscreen. Slipping all over the place, trying to drive to the office. It'll be chaos. And the next few months, it's only going to get worse. So, I am rich in the quality of life here in the Philippines. Would I like to have a fancy car? Nope, doesn't interest me. Would I like to have fancy watches? Rolex, Omega, Patek Philippe? Nope, I've had them. Not interested. When you're younger, you're a bit daft, aren't you? And I was earning good money and I could afford these things, but even if I could afford them now, I wouldn't have any interest in buying them. It's just something that happens when you get older. I'm still alive, by the way, I'm not dead, but I just enjoy different things. I enjoy going for a walk. I enjoy having a nice lunch, experiencing new flavours here in the Philippines, and there's plenty of them. I'm learning Tagalog at the moment, so um, you know, in a few months I'm going to be speaking Tagalog to you. I'm only joking, joke line. But here's the thing, right? See, when you now, some of you might disagree with me here, but when you learn a new language, this is part of being rich in the Philippines, right? If you could speak Tagalog, right, or Filipino, whatever you want to call it, if you could speak Tagalog, your life would improve here. Um, I'm not just I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you that from experience. Because when I lived in France, I worked in Paris twice over the years. The second time, I decided to learn French properly. Uh, I was there for about a year the second time. And you know what? It completely changed my life in Paris. And the reason for that is I could communicate with people, older people who didn't want to speak English or couldn't. And it's the same here in the Philippines. And when you learn Tagalog, as I've started learning, right? I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. You have to apply yourself every day. You have to read up and practice. I know a French guy, a friend of mine whose English was probably one of the best I've heard for a French guy. But he practiced every day for years, and it wasn't perfect. So my point is, if you make an effort, you can do that. You can learn any language you want. Don't say, it's too difficult. I'm too old. I don't need to learn it. Yeah, you're right. You don't need to learn it. But when you do learn it, um, imagine being able to listen to people's conversations and understand what they're talking about, to be able to converse with them in their language. And trust me, the Filipinos will love that. There's a famous phrase, I can't remember what that is now. If you talk to a man in a language that he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. So, you know, how true is that? So, tell me what you think. Uh, how do you feel, or what do you think being rich in the Philippines is all about? Would you rather have lots of money and be in a different country, or would you rather have less money and live a simpler life in the Philippines? Now, there'll be some of you who would rather have more money, and that's fine, each to their own. But when you get older, in my experience, money becomes less important. Of course, you need money to survive, and we need money every month because we have, responsibilities, commitments. The biggest one being the school fees for our son, because Kian is autistic. He goes to a special school, and trust me, it's not cheap. I mean, it's cheap compared to some countries, but in general terms, it's not what I would call cheap. So, but to give you an idea of why we don't need as much money, when I was earning good money, I saved up money and it allowed us to buy this house. And we spent about 4 million pesos on the house and another 1 million pesos on the installation of the roof deck here, which you'll have seen in some of my previous videos, but also the installation of solar panels on the new roof, which is above the existing roof. And that has helped to reduce the electric bill from around 8,000 pesos to an average of about 1,300 each month. So that's a huge saving. So I don't have to rent. We don't have to rent anymore. And that's a big saving. So, we've made an investment in the Philippines, and it means we can live a simpler lifestyle with a smaller budget. Okay, guys, if you like this video, please press that like button. It just helps to push it out to more people. Makes my life easier. And yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.